Hi, I'm Julie from Grand Island, and this is my story. When I was a teenager, I had grown up in a Christian home, and I thought that I really did have a relationship with God, and I thought that I had experienced every part of Him. And I knew what Christian parents expected of you, and I knew what the church expected of you, and I knew the rules to follow, but I also knew how to push those rules to kind of do what I wanted to do also. And I thought that I had just experienced every part of God, and I knew how it should go. And when I was in high school, though, I decided to push the envelope a little too far, and I ended up pregnant my senior year. And that took me out of every activity I was in, because I loved to be involved. And I had to drop out of being the president of student council and being the drum major and being involved in all the clubs I was involved in. And it took me out of school because I was so sick with my pregnancy that I just couldn't go to school a lot. And in that time I was trying to make it better, so the guy and I that we got pregnant, we got married, and it wasn't fun. It was not fun to be married my senior year, and it wasn't exactly how I wanted my life to go, and all the future that I thought I was going to have just kind of dropped in those moments. And I realized that I did not know who I was without all of the things that I was doing, and I didn't know who I was without my future that I thought I was going to have. And I remember the first time I went back to school after being gone for a long time because I was in and out of the hospital, and I just remember walking down the hall and everyone just grew silent as I walked and just stared at me. And in that time I knew my life was just different. It had just dropped all of my friends, and I felt alone. I felt like I couldn't count on anyone to really be with me in that time. My family was very hurt by the pregnancy, and my friends were not around anymore. And I remember going home that night, and I was so sick, and I was laying on the ground, and I just remember saying, God, I just need you. I need you to be more real to me than you have ever been. And in that moment, I just felt a father's love like I've never felt before. And I feel like that was really when my relationship with God started, is in that moment. Because it was no longer about following the rules made you a good Christian. It was no longer about what you can and can't do. And it was about an intimate relationship with Jesus. And in a time when I felt very much alone, He came in and it just flooded me with His love and just let me know that I am never alone. And He came in at a time when I felt like I wasn't anything, that I was worthless, that I had messed up so bad that I couldn't be restored. And He began to tell me about a purpose that He had for me. And He began to tell me about the worth and how He chose me in a time when I couldn't even see it in myself. And in those times, He really built me to what I am now. And in those times, He began to tell me about what He was going to do in a marriage that has now lasted for 20 years and has been restored, and with a family that has been built that's so beautiful now. And I just want to challenge each one of you students that if you ever get to the point where you feel like you've just messed up so horribly that you just feel like you have no worth, or you feel like there's no way that anyone's going to stand by your side, that there's a God who wants to come in and just flood you with His love and just have a real intimate relationship with you. He wants to tell you how much He loves you and the purposes that He has for your life, that your life is not just to be thrown away, but your life is to be used by Him, and He wants to do so many great things in every one of you, and He sees your worth. He sees how awesome and amazing that you are if you just allow Him to come in and have that relationship with you. So I am Julie, and that's my story.